In communication with Southern California, California 9 Public Affairs presents Teen Talk.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Teen Talk. Throughout history, there have been groups of people who have chosen to lead a nonconformist lifestyle. In this century, we've seen zoot suiters, beatniks, biker gangs, and hippies. Today, there's one group that has also rebelled against what we consider the social norm, and we call them skinheads. When we think of skinheads, we usually come up with images like these: violent, Jew and black-hating young people who preach a message of racial prejudice and disregard for law and humanity. But we're here this morning to bring you another side of this group, skinheads that count women, blacks, and Jews among their numbers and say and do things very differently than what you may be used to. I'm Joseph Feinstein, and this morning on Teen Talk, we're joined by skinheads who call themselves two-tones. Let's learn a little bit more about this little-known group. Welcome, panel. Welcome to Teen Talk. You know, obviously, as we've seen so far, there are great differences in all kinds of skinhead groups. Why do you consider yourselves skinheads? Are you calling yourselves skinheads? Greg, are you calling yourself a skinhead?
No, I don't like to consider myself, a skinhead. I consider myself an anti-racist. If I was going to be classified as anything, it would be an anti-racist, not anything else. I really don't like.
Well, then you tell me, what is that flat top all about on the top of that head?
Flat top's me. I've had a flat top.
It's a haircut.
I've had a flat top, on and off for 4 or 5 years. It's just something I've grown attached to and I can't really get rid of.
Oh, I see. I see.
We belong to an organization called SHARP, Skinheads Against Racial Prejudice. And you don't have to be a skinhead to be in it, but if you are, good for you. But it's
Skinheads Against Racial Prejudice, SHARP, SHARP. Go ahead.
Right. And we just unite together to fight. We're not a gang, we are an organization. We're not in drugs, we are not into the violent scene. But if we are confronted, we will fight. But we will not break out a gun or a knife or anything.
I see. And let's find out a little bit more. Your head is along the skinhead variety, Mark. What is that about?
Well, it's a working class. Skins were never really racial. It was more of a class struggle, working class against rich people. And skins traditionally were working class kids who listened to black music, and that's what I am. I work and I listen to old black music.
That's what you do?
Yes.
There must be a couple of other things.
And I go to school, go out with friends, have some fun, but I listen, I work, and I listen to black music. And the skinhead, it's just working class clothes. I got boots, I got jeans, braces, suspenders to hold my pants up, and short hair so it doesn't get caught, or in a fight, nobody can pull it.
Most people take a look at the boots, and first thing that goes to their mind is, yeah, they got combat boots. They're like military orientated. These aren't combat boots. No. These are work boots. I'm wearing work shoes, which is the same type of thing. That's what we're all about. It's a working class movement. We're into our music. We listen to our music. We all work. I have a job myself.
What do you do?
I manage an athletic store.
Athletic store. Okay.
Yes.
Tell me. I see all these various things on your jacket. I don't have any of those things on any of my jackets. What is the big picture there that's on
this big picture is basically pertaining to the type of music I listen to.
Ska.
It's ska. These happen to be two people doing ska.
Ska.
Two people.
SKA?
Yes.
It's old Jamaican music. It's old Jamaican music.
It's old Jamaican music.
The roots.
Oh, okay. Go
And
ahead.
It's a combination of like reggae, jazz, calypso, with a little punk rock beat to it.
Sounds good to me.
It picks it up.
I've been to Jamaica several times. I like the music down there very much. What's the little one there in the middle there?
This right here?
No.
This one?
Yeah.
That's the Toasters. That's a particular ska band. And that's a band that I listen to.
I see.
I also have the Specials, which is on this side. That's also a ska band.
And who is the guy in red there?
Oh, that's Zigzag.
What is zigzag paper?
Basically, yeah.
You mean the paper used for rolling your own cigarettes?
Something like that.
The funny-looking cigarettes? I see. Okay. Now you're Nessa, and you got hair on your head, and you're associated with the skinheads.
Yes.
All right. Now, what does that mean to you? Why are you there? What is that all about?
Well, I've been a skinhead for a while. I classify myself as skinhead, but people look at skinhead and think like him, working class. Well, times have changed since the 60s. I don't have to wear boots and braces to go to work. I have to look nice. I work in an office.
I've got these penny loafers too, and I've got the pennies in the penny loafers also. Yeah, that's a part of working class.
Well, not particularly working class. I work for most of what I have.
Okay.
My parents work for what they have, but I mean, as far as working class goes, for me, you know, I don't work in a job where I have to wear tough clothes.
Well, let me ask it to you this way then, Nessa. Why bother with skinheads? Why can't you just be Nessa? Why can't you be Nessa? You know what I mean? Why do you have to join?
Because that's her. It's a cultural thing. It's like
you enjoy it, why not be it?
Like why?
It's like a cultural aspect. I mean, it's like that. I mean, we listen to our music. We have our friends. I mean, a couple of us like we're into scooting or whatever. I mean, it's like a hobby, and it's a lot different than just, I mean, the trendy, normal teenage lifestyle.
Like, why be a jock?
Yeah,
Why follow? Yeah, why be?
We have a lot of
Why do you
fun.
dress the way you dress?
Why be a rapper? You know, why be into that stuff? We're into our
So
music.
what I
and this
hear
is a
you
particular
saying is
style.
that there's all kinds of responses. You guys have responses to everything.
This is what we are.
Which is typical teenage life too.
Exactly.
A really thinking teenager, to me, from all the time, the 30 years that I've been working with teenagers, tells me that a teenager is somebody who bucks the system and wants to always question the system. Are you questioning the system, Tomo?
I'm really just going with the flow.
You're going with the flow? We're going to have to go with the flow too, and our flow tells us that we've got to take a commercial break. So far, we've talked a bit about the skinhead lifestyle, and when we come back, I want to find out what exactly separates you from your more violent counterparts. You stay there, and we're going to find out some interesting information. Yeah. When we talk about skinheads, we usually think of racially prejudiced young people. But there are several groups that are not motivated by ethnic background. Groups such as the one we talked about just recently, SHARP, and ARA. What is ARA, Mark?
ARA is anti-racist action. They're a more
Wait a second. Anti-racist
racist action.
Yeah.
They're a more aggressive group of
More affirmative action.
They I wouldn't say go out and look for trouble, but they'll definitely take care of their own, and they'll make sure no Nazis in the area, and they'll take care of a Nazi.
Have you joined with any of these
No,
groups?
I'm not personally in any group.
Uh-huh.
I'm not political in any way.
There's something sort of like what myself and Tamil here is. We're not sharp. We will work together if need be. We're not exactly sharp. We are skinheads against racial prejudice, mind you. But we're also an assertive group. If we feel that something needs to be handled because someone is, per se, like one of these so-called Nazi skinheads, we are definitely going to take some affirmative action.
Like what are you going to do?
Kick their asses.
Yeah, pretty
Whatever
much.
we have
Take
to
them
do.
down. To put it politely, take them down. I'd also like to point out that these people that call themselves skinheads who are Nazis, they don't believe in anything of what a real skinhead is all about. A skinhead is working class. He has the love for his country. They're not United States orientated. They're German orientated. They're Nazis. They're going
Not
after.
German Nazi, because Germans.
Let's say not German.
Picks and shit.
Let's say basically,
Right
you know, they right wing. They believe in the same thing that Hitler believes in. They're not pro-America. What is America? It's the melting pot. It is where everyone has come together and we have built up this country together.
Where our
Whether you be
forefathers
black,
fought.
whether you be white, whether you be Jewish, whether you be Oriental, and so on and so forth. We have all built this country together, and we have to all stick together if we're going to make this country what we want it to be.
Now, Monique, we haven't heard from you yet. Are you part of this? You're a two-tone, is that what you are, or sharp, or how would you define yourself?
Well, I used to be a skinhead a few years ago. I recently grew out my hair. I'm not any less of a skinhead. I still have my same beliefs. I feel strongly about everything that I believe in still, no matter what I'm dressed like. I mean,
what did you believe in a couple of years ago that you don't believe in right now?
Nothing.
Having
Everything
a bald
the
head.
same. I mean, the only thing that's different about me is that I have hair. I have to have a job. I have to look presentable. I mean, that's the only thing that's
how did your
changed.
mother react to you when you decided to shave your head?
She was confused.
She was confused.
Yeah.
And what did she say to you?
She didn't. She didn't say anything. I came out and I told her, you know, exactly what I was about. I try not to bring them into it because we've had a lot of problems, you know, with the Nazis and
Were you a skinhead that
windows.
believed as the Nazis?
No.
No.
That was the conflict right there, that
I
I
see.
didn't.
Did you cut your hair too? Did you cut it?
No,
It's such pretty hair.
I
cut it
don't
off.
cut it. I like it, so it's my
Now,
hair.
what's
it's me.
you've
very
got
much.
tattoos on your hand.
No, that's not a tattoo.
No, that's-
it's a
It's called a
bubblegum.
cockamamie from the Bronx.
No,
we
it's,
used
it's
to
a
call it.
bubblegum tattoo.
It's a bubble. That's what we call. They were called
It's her-
cockamamies.
Oh.
A short word for decalcomania. But what's all that about? What do you define yourself as, Nico?
I'm an anti-racist person. I don't define myself as anything really. I am in Sharp because I believe in what they do, and I hang out. I mean, they're my friends. They're my associates. We all, you know, it's like a family where we're really closely knit.
What do you
with
do?
Blue
What
Girls,
do you
Blue
do in
Boys,
Sharp? What do you do?
Organize stuff.
You organize stuff?
flyers.
Like what?
Protests,
Educate.
rally. We try educating the public. We pass out flyers and doing shows like this whenever we can. We just
the
try
message out.
educating
The basic
people.
difference between Sharp and skinheads that are also against racial prejudice but don't consider themselves in Sharp is Sharp. If we're confronted or if we see someone that's white power, whether they're, you know, they call themselves a skinhead or they're bald-headed or what, we would rather talk to them on an educated level and ask them, why are you white power? Why do you believe that way? I mean, we bump into people all the time that don't look white and say they are. What's the point of saying you're
Just
white power? What is it? And a lot of times it's better that way because they don't have an answer. And a lot of the kids, not all of them, but there's been a few that change their minds. They go home, and one of our friends had an instance where he saw a guy that he knew was white power, and he asked him, why are you white power? And he said, here's my number. If you feel like talking about it, give me a call. Sure enough, not the guy, but his girlfriend gave one of the Sharp members the phone call. You know, he wanted to talk about it. He wanted to be a skinhead, and he thought in order to be a skinhead, you had to have racist beliefs.
I see.
And you don't.
I'd like to point one thing out. You don't necessarily have to be from Sharp. You don't necessarily have to be ARA. If you're a skinhead, and like myself, I'm from let's call it a club called Ghost Town. And that's just a little name that we thought of. We're very close-knit. It's like a close-knit family. We do everything together. I have seen Tamil every single day. You know, we see each other every day. We're really,
Basically
really good
boyfriend
friends.
and
You know?
girlfriend.
All of that makes it
It's
great.
like we're family, you know. It's more of a group, you know. It's more of a group to where it's very family orientated. You take care of each other.
This
You're
is the
there for
way
each
that
other.
I can remember the groups and the clubs at Grant High School 30 years ago, the need for organization. And our organization has a need right now to go to a commercial break.
Okay.
And with the inherent violence of some skinhead groups, it seems our guests here today could be putting themselves at great risk by not following that racist lead. When we come back, I want to find out if you've ever had a violent run-in with other skinhead groups and how it's worked out. You stay there. We'll be right back. many skinhead groups are usually violent and aggressive. Panel, what makes you so different from them? I'm getting a little bit of, you know, we contend with them, but not violence and aggression. Tamil?
It's like I don't know. I don't consider myself any different from that, because like if I see a Nazi, you know, I'm not gonna go, well, you know, why are you a Nazi? I'm gonna go up and sock his ass, you know, whatever. I don't know, because if you see a Nazi, it's, in my opinion, it's already too late, man. They're already like white supremacists, and they have to, you know, they have to learn their lesson and shit. I mean, Sharp is like.
Get rid of them.
They have.
What do you do when you see a Nazi?
Well, that's the difference, you know, no offense, guys, but that's the difference between our organization and their organization with their club. They see it more like, you know, go out, direct action, you know, he's sporting a swastika or a Confederate flag, we're going to take care of him. And you have on your back, show the audience what you're wearing on the back there. Get a picture of that jacket there, right? And that's the two-tone quality. This is everything is black and white. The two-tone of his button over there with the arrows pointing and the black. We don't see it as go out and get them, because we have a lot, you know, more better things to do, you know, than to go out and go searching for Nazis, because it's just not a good thing to do, because you're wasting your time. You're going to get in trouble, wind up in jail, and we're all too old for that now. When I was younger, maybe, you know, I was 15
How old
to 16,
are you now?
19.
19, okay.
Not much younger, but I was younger.
Yeah,
When I was
get
younger,
out of it.
we went cruising and we went, you know, looking for them, went to houses, you know, we did all that stuff. But now I'm older, you know.
Did your mother know about what you were doing? Did she have an idea about the sharps and the flats and so forth?
Well, see, my mother has an idea, you know. She knows what's going on. She watches the news, you know. She's seen me on it before and stuff. But, you know, she understands what I'm doing, because she's seen it all happen before. She sees it more as somebody's got to do it, you know what I mean, rather than, you know, just sit at home on your butt and watch TV and, you know, watch it on the news. You got to stand up for what you believe.
That's what we're all about. You stand up for what you believe in, even if it takes physical action. If I think, you know, I mean, I'm talking physical action here. My family,
we won't back down.
my family happens to be black. I'd like to point that out. I mean, I am adopted, and my mom knows what I'm all about. My mom knows what I go out and do, and my mom's very supportive of me. Not necessarily the violent aspect, but she herself will go out and tell people, wait, when somebody says skinhead, racist, she says, wait a second, that's not what it's all about. Until you know what it's all about, don't make comments about it. I believe you believe something. If somebody out there is going to tell you, these white power, they're looking at me and they're saying, you're no good because you hang out with somebody who's black, or because your family is black. My theory is they're no good because they have a closed-minded way of thinking.
So why are you going to pummel them or fight with them? I mean,
because either we jump them or they jump us first.
What's that?
Either they jump us first or we jump them. Exactly. We have to get it down before they get it down.
The difference between Sharp and their organization I don't know much about is we want people to take us seriously. People are not going to take you seriously if you're going around socking everybody up.
That's right.
You know, if you see the white powers on TV, you know, and all they ever shows them beating up people. And people don't take them seriously. I don't take them seriously, and I'm sure.
Well, the media loves that kind of stuff, because that's the stuff that TV, you know, a few minutes on TV or a little thing in the paper will create. Go ahead, Nicole.
Okay. Well, what I was going to say, maybe the difference is, you know, we both are likely to end up getting physical, but.
Did you get physical? You fight?
Well, let me explain this way. There's
Nazis
Nazis at my school who I've gotten involved in. I mean, they chased me with a gun before. You know, they get violent. So I have, you know, you have to be able to protect yourself back. But how, you know, we started interacting, which turned into violence, was I went up to her because she was writing swastikas and OC Warskin on the desk. And to me, that's a bunch of BS. And I am not going to look at a swastika for 1 second. Neither should anybody else. So I brought that to her attention, that was BS. And that, you know, I said, but look, why are you like that? That's not your background, because she's not Aryan, right? And, you know, we have like a strong, you know, there's a lot of friction between us, and when there's that amount of friction between two groups, things start flying.
Or maybe not even as a group, it could be just a personal thing.
It's like if you
I'm saying it, what I was saying.
Pacifist?
No, okay, well, Sharp.
Tell the audience what you were telling me before about Skinheads, your group being the first group.
Okay, well, when Skinheads started, there was nothing racial about it.
Right.
It just
what was it for? Just to kind of have a different hair
Hippies
comb.
and
It was
Yeah.
basically an
It's also
underground
anti-hippie.
scene.
They weren't. They
Yeah,
never,
they're the
skins have never
mods
been
to
a long
change.
hair and psychedelic tune in, turn on, and drop out.
Yeah.
We were clean-cut kids who liked black music. That's
It's
what
like,
it is.
It's like Mark
Black
was
music.
Yeah.
Style of
It's like Mark
dressing.
was pointing out earlier. The work boots, the work pants. We were a working class
Rude
movement.
Boys.
Back then, now it's a little bit. It's like if you got short hair, people look at you as bad. Now I also want to point out that just because you have longer hair, my hair happens to be rather long.
Yes.
Now for my job, that is required. I manage a store, and I can't exactly go in there with people, especially where I work at, people looking at me like I'm a racist.
You have acclimated yourself to the American condition.
Exactly,
right?
and that's back then. This style was fine. This style was,
It was
very accepted.
good.
As a matter of
When
fact,
the long
it
hair
was
was
happily
coming in,
accepted.
People had short hair.
People
and
liked
parents
this.
were glad
Okay.
to see their children with
Now
short
it's a
hair.
little bit different because we have all these racists. But you know, it's
messes
like
things
they want everyone to know that all skinheads aren't racist. That's fine. But I can remember back a few years ago when we didn't have to go out and we didn't have to do publicity.
There was no need
We
for
were
it.
our
There
own.
were no
We
racists.
did our thing.
That's
We
why
listened
you
to our
never heard
music.
about us
We hung out.
before.
We didn't
Yeah.
There
have
was
to
no
go out and do
need
that.
for
Now
it.
we
It was
are
an underground
confronted
scene.
by this racism, and I am most certainly not going to sit down and tolerate it. I'm going to stand up and say, if you're a racist, I'm not going to tolerate it. You're making me look bad.
And we get it from
There's
both
no
ends.
reason why we
You're
should
making,
grow.
you're making my friends run the risk of bodily harm or from the risk of having people coming up and going, you're a
At
Nazi.
the risk of losing my show, I've got to take a commercial
Okay,
break.
okay.
We'll be back with some final thoughts in just a moment. Hang in there. Don't go away. As a Jew myself, I have always considered the violence and racial prejudice of skinheads to be personally threatening and abhorrent. In fact, I came into the show today with great apprehension. Yet, after hearing the motivations of our guests here today, I'm rethinking how my generalizations of a group may have been somewhat misguided. I applaud these young people's concern toward the environment, racial understanding, and social acceptability. I can only hope their namesakes will someday understand what these two tones have already discovered, that going against the norm doesn't mean going against basic human rights and dignity. For Teen Talk, this is Joseph Feinstein saying we'll see you very soon.